As you know, Western Balkans are Croatia, Bosnia, Serbia plus Kosovo, Montenegro, and Macedonia, and Albania. But in this presentation, I will include also Slovenia, because the data that I'm going to show to you come from a research named Economic Relation between Italy and the former Yugoslavia that CIRPET carried out in 2007. This research was financed by the Unicredit Group and Intesa Sanpaolo, which are the main two Italian banks. And I see that Intesa Sanpaolo also financed this competition. And it was also supported by the Regional Agency for Investment, Export and Tourism of my region, Piemonte region. The aim of our research was to provide practical information for Italian companies interested in the target area. The main sources that we use, the EBRD, European Bank for Reconstruction and Development Transition Report, and also on-the-field research. We carried out on-the-field research and interviews with local, private, and public institutions, and also with Italian authorities and investors in all these countries. Why the Western Balkans are so important for Europe now, and also for countries who want to sell in Europe. As the Eastern European enlargement for the moment is stopped, as Turkey and other countries covered by the European neighboring policy are left, they are not coming in Europe in the short run, the focus is on the Western Balkans. This area is Europe's next high-value location for manufacturers. So the Western Balkans can be a valid production platform. I want to show a relation with EU and NATO for these countries, which are particularly important because we know that in the last 15 years, almost all these countries has a war or some kind of internal rise, like, for example, Albania and Macedonia. I will start with Croatia, which is already member of the European Union and NATO from 2004. Then we have two other countries which are near to join this institution, which are Croatia and Macedonia. Croatia could join the Union from 2010, 11, or 12. And Croatia has been invited in 2008 to join NATO, and probably next year will join NATO. Macedonia is less near to that Croatia to the Union, probably can join the Union in 2004-15, but it was invited to NATO, but this invitation was vetoed by Greece because of the problem with the name, as you know. Finally, we have Albania, which is pretty far from the European Union, but has been invited this year to join NATO, and next year probably will join this organization. Now some macroeconomic data. If we look, for example, to GDP, we can see that the GDP in this region is different from Slovenia has the highest GDP, almost more than 9,000 euros GDP per capita, sorry, while Bosnia-Herzegovina has the lowest. Also, if we look to unemployment rate, Slovenia is the one with the lowest unemployment rate, and Bosnia with the highest. But we have to say that Bosnia has a big part of his economy is in the black sector, the black market. If we look at inflation, we see that Slovenia and Albania has a low inflation, and the highest inflation in the region is in Serbia. But as we saw yesterday, Serbia has 300 million%, so it is good. Finally, if we look at the GDP growth, we can see that all this country has a positive trend since years. Despite these differences that I just mentioned for per capita GDP, unemployment rate, and inflation rate, there are 5 common location advantages in these countries. First, high competitive overall cost structure. Labor, land, and utilities are cheaper than in the new European member countries. Then there is labor availability, cost, and quality, well-educated and experienced workforce, and with technical expertise. Strategic location and proximity. Adriatic access, and also adjacent to both Western and Central Europe. Then, location availability of raw materials and supply network. For example, in a special way, wood, metals, and agricultural products. Finally, there is an improving fiscal and incentive regimes, fiscal and tax reform, and also investors' incentives, but not in Slovenia because it would be unfair competition as Slovenia is European Union country. Now we can look to some commercial indicators. Firstly, we can see that all the country has trade balance and current account deficit, and we can also see that Slovenia is the most open economy, followed by Croatia.